A note by a psychologist Elena Yurievna about the relationship between athletes, their parents and the coach. Worth reading and thinking about. The coach is also a person. I have repeatedly had to write about athletes and their parents. How to reach them and help them. It was decided to dedicate this note to our favorite mentors. You have to contact with different coaches from different sports. There are circumstances that can be repeated and they are worthy of showing interest in them. This post will talk about some of them. It is likely that this note will undoubtedly be able to help athletes and their parents to better understand their own mentor, and the coach to provide himself with first help in a timely manner. 1. Coaches, mostly in the old days, were themselves athletes who overcame adversity, overcame fatigue and pain, strengthened their willpower in order to achieve heights in the world of sports. And often this is what they expect from their students. For this reason, they are often strict, uncompromising, critical, tough in their relationship with their athletes. In the words of the coaches themselves, no one has been on ceremony before. It is required. It means that it is necessary to perform. And it is sometimes quite difficult to change your attitude to the fact that children are different now. They are brought up in different conditions, under different baggage of information and influence. And in higher educational institutions, when training coaches, too little attention is paid to the psychology of influence, child, organizational, developmental psychology, etc. In this regard, coaches often reach something through personal experience, often reinventing the wheel again. 2. At the beginning of their professional teaching activities, as a rule, trainers are filled with enthusiasm. They have a lot of ideas. They are ready to use their own experience and knowledge to educate their students. They see most of their pets as future champions and are ready to put their time and effort into any of them. There are coaches who invest their own money, helping a successful athlete with some part of their salary, paying for competitions. And, quite often, at the beginning of the journey, some athletes invariably begin to give results and the present motivates even more. However, it doesn't happen like that. Over time, the coach begins to experience a lack of strength, internal reserves. At the same time, financial difficulties, problems in the family, or, after repeated stress, health problems may appear. Increasingly, it is possible to listen to complaints from management and from parents, if an athlete, for various reasons, ceases to give results. And the most painful is the ingratitude of the athlete himself. And at this moment there is a professional psychological burnout, a sort of energization, when there are no forces and desires. It is of great importance to timely reboot at the initial signs of burnout, so you will avoid a number of negative consequences both for work and for yourself. 3. The mentor experiences the performance of any of his athletes. When a mentor watches the performance of his student, he experiences the same feelings: pain, anger, emptiness, fear, annoyance, etc. The muscles of the mentor's body repeat everything that his athlete is doing at that moment. They get tired, tense up, strike or make a jump, etc. The teacher is also human. And no matter how the teacher strives to observe neutrality, this is not easy to achieve. There is a term, mirror neurons. A person experiences everything that another person experiences, especially if it is your child, student, loved one. That is why, after a difficult day of competition, the mentor's body is equally saturated with lactic acid, adrenaline, cortisol, etc., as a result of which great psychological and physical fatigue and stress accumulate. And if on the same day several of your pupils perform at competitions and more than once, what advice would you give to athletes and their parents? Be attentive to your mentors. After all, the coach is also a person, with his anxieties and emotions, but the coach does not want and cannot demonstrate the real, and in no case will he tell you about it. Be grateful to the coach. This is motivating and inspiring. At the end of the competition, you can come up and say thank you. This should simply be a mandatory ritual. You must be aware that only by acting in constant contact in conjunction with a mentor-athlete parent, sometimes a psychologist, it is possible to come to convincing victories. And if everyone acts in their own way, and even harms, nothing good will come of it. If you are not interested or you are not satisfied with the results of your child, and you do not try to do anything yourself, then at least do not interfere. In unity, we are invincible. Note: it is worth noting that this note is written about mentors who, not by mistake, took up this kind of activity. This is not about those teachers who cannot get a job anywhere else and work out their complexes as a coach.